We're live again. We're live again. Okay. Let's see if this audio is okay. So hello to everyone who drops by. If you're watching the stream, please do say hello. This is live, so I will be able to see what you say, but later on the video will be published by the fantastic people at YouTube. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about a few different things. We'll talk about cryptocurrency mining and whatnot. I think I have an hour and an hour or so to do this, to do a live stream. What I'd like to do in this live stream, if possible, would be to bring some of you guys on. So in addition to comments, if any of you guys want to call in, if you want to, load up your phone, load up your webcam, your tablet, and your laptop and all that. If you want to join in the discussion, we can talk about different topics. I think that would be really good. I think that'd be a lot better than just me sitting talking myself. As far as, hi Aaron, good to see you, mate. If you want to join the stream, Aaron, please let me know. As far as what I've been doing, I switched between, I tried Vertical Coin for a day or so, but I switched back last night to mining SafeCoin. The reason being that the new version of EWBF came out, 0.5, and I wanted to try it, basically. So it did seem to make quite a significant difference. I think I've jumped from about 790 to about 850 sols. Quite a good improvement in that. But I was saying this today in the comment area. The problem is this is the only miner for that algorithm. So unless a lot of people are on an older algorithm, the chances are everyone else is going to get the exact same boost that I got. So yes, it's more efficient, but everyone else who jumped to this new version will get the same efficiency and they'll get that performance boost. It's a little bit different when there's like 5 different miners and people using different versions, and then you can maybe get a few weeks of getting a boost ahead of most other people. One of the things I have noticed though, you guys know that I've been using Hive OS, and can I show that? Yes, I can. Let me see. Can you guys see? All right, hold on now. I need to reset that. Right, okay. So there's Hive OS, and I've got 3 rigs on it still. Before I upgraded to 0.5, I was probably getting about, I think I was getting like maybe 20 to 21 for all of these, and now I'm at 22, 23, 24. So it's a nice little improvement. One of the things I do find annoying about Hive OS though is that they're very slow at updating. Very slow. So I'm in 0.5. Before I upgraded, I was at 0.3. Had to manually upgrade to 0.5, and it isn't very user friendly to do that. So it's much easier to upgrade via Awesome Miner. You just tell Awesome Miner where the new version of the script is. But on Hive OS, you need to log into the terminal. You need to download it and all that, and enter a lot of commands. It's not difficult per se. There's instructions out there, but it's a little bit annoying. They did add 0.4, but then they said it wasn't stable. But at the very least, I think they should give people an option as to which version they choose, personally. So Aaron's saying the L3 Plus is selling for only $200 right now. That's because Litecoin is falling. Script Algo is also falling. Is that directly from BATME, or is that from someone else? Like, is that through Amazon or something? I can check BATME to see, if that's the price. I've not been following Litecoin too much over the last few months. I used to have a few $100s worth of Litecoin, but I traded it in. L3 Plus. So what have we got here? The L3 Plus. Yeah, it looks like they are very cheap. So there's the L3 Plus Plus, the L3 Plus. $216. You've still got some, haven't you, Aaron? You've still got some. What kind of return are you getting on these? What kind of return are you getting? So for that one, it doesn't seem, you know, 504 mega hashes per second. That definitely seems like a better buy compared to that. You know, it doesn't seem like a significant enough jump there to go for the extra $70, $80 there, sorry. So what I mean, I could check this in asset miner value actually. Make about $4 per day. Right, okay. Let's see if I can see this. It's the L. I'm as well searching for this something. L3 plus. It's actually saying here that it's losing money. The 504 version. Says it's losing money per day. I don't know what the assumption is here. I don't know if you can change the electricity cost. I'll go into this and see. Does it say what the electricity cost is based on here? Income, oh, electricity, right. You can change the cost of it used in calculations in the local preferences on the page footer. Right, so, right, okay. Well, I'm paying about 18 cents. So, yeah, for me, that's going to lose me money. So I think you'd have to, what would you have to go down to? You'd have to get down to, say you were lucky enough to pay 0.04 or something like that. Say you had super cheap electricity, then you're going to make a little bit of money. It's a reminder of how important electricity costs are, and you know how you have to always factor them into your calculations. They're the same unit. Right, so one's overclocked. What Rabin is asking, what is the best GPU mining based on return on investment? Aaron pays. As far as the best GPU based on return on investment, I think it's a tricky one to answer, because I think when I did my calculations, sorry, I was just putting in the calculations there for yeah, it's not great. When I put in the calculations for the best GPUs, when I bought all my cards, the 1066 gigabytes seemed to be the best cost to profit ratio, but there's a lot of different things to consider. Obviously, you've got your regional electricity costs. You've got to take into account whether you do have all the other equipment. Like, you need to take into the price of other equipment as well. So for example, when I was building my 1060 rigs, I knew that I could get, you know, 8 on a rig. I decided 8 on a rig, and I knew that if I, you know, a 1000 watt PSU would be sufficient for that. But if I was building 1080 Ti rigs, for example, I'd maybe have to buy a larger PSU, which adds on more money. You also have to take into account as well that, for example, you could find that a 1050 or a 1050 Ti is the most profitable, but 6 months, a year from now, it might not even be able to mine certain algorithms. So you need to take that into account. But really, you need to take into the prices of the cards, new and used can really change what cards you buy. Personally, I feel right now you should be buying used cards rather than new. Personally, because I think that because the market is down, there's more to a lot. The market isn't flooded with it, at least in the UK. I've heard that North America is better, but I'd be looking at used GPUs rather than brand new. That's what I would be doing. Aaron is saying RX 480 are good GPU for ROI, also due to electricity use. Are you at work just now, Aaron? You're welcome to jump onto the stream if you want. I can send you an invite. I'm using different conferencing software. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. I think I'm good to go with that. Yes, I am. Yeah, there are a lot of people selling out. The other thing is as well, like if you're buying a used AMD card or a new AMD card, you might want to look into the Squirrel Acorn things, the FPGAs. For NVIDIA cards, you're getting a boost of like 1.7, but for some of the NVIDIA, so for some of the AMD cards, you're getting a boost of like 2.7 or something. So it's quite significant. No webcam at work, guy. That's no problem. Asus RX 580 4GB is now on sale for $225. What's your existing setup though just now, Rabin? Can you, for example, can you buy, like, are you just wanting one GPU? Are you trying to build a rig with 3 or 4 or 6 or 8? Can you buy 8 at that price? Is there a limitation? Are you buying used? What algorithms are you going to mine? Does the RX 580 allow you to mine the coins that you want to mine and give you a good return for that? These are things you need to consider when you're buying cards. You also have to realize what algorithms are good at and what algorithms are not good at. For example, last year, I would say across the board, Ethereum was better mined on AMD cards. This was before the ETH enlargement power and all that. But the Acorn research thing, see if we can bring that up. That's why I find it interesting. See the Acorn thing, the FPGA. Now, when you actually look at it, for the lower base cards, you can maybe use one of these for 2 cards. For the more for the higher cards like a 1080 Ti, you need one of these per card. But looking down at this graph just now, you can see if you pick, let's look at X16R. For a 1080 Ti, you're getting 1.76, 1.74 for a 1080, 1.82 for a 1070 Ti, 1.923. So those are between 1.7 and 2 for a boost across the board for all NVIDIA cards for X16R. If you go down to the AMD cards, you're getting between 2.31 up to 2.6. So the boost is a little bit higher with the AMD cards. But even look at there's an RX 560, and for LiDAR Rev 2, for a 560 you're getting a 3.1 boost, and that's pretty significant. But there's so many different things to consider though, as far as, well, the cost of the 560s, what the hash rate was, for them for a particular algorithm and all that as well. I don't know. I mean, I think for these kind of cards, if you look here, 1.4 and 1.4 for LiDAR Rev 2, for me, I don't think that's enough of a boost, because you're paying a couple of $100s for this, and you're not getting a GPU. You're getting, something that's probably poor resale value. But also, you're limited at the moment. You have to use their software, and you're only getting this boost on LiDAR Rev 2 and X16R at the moment. And you can see for 8 hash, you're getting a boost of 10%, which is not significant enough, I don't think. If I was buying one of those Acorn ones, I'd probably try to buy it in conjunction with an AMD card to try and get the 2.5 boost or the 3 boost, if possible. How many of those do you need for an 810 80 Ti GPU rig? I think you'd have it. I think you find it difficult to get that. I think for a 1080 Ti, that would do 1 card. Some people are saying you might get 2 cards for certain ones, but I think they're saying 1 card. And unless you're starting to use adapters to add multiple M2 cards, then chances are you wouldn't even be able to get 8 in there. Cryptoland says, what do you think of selling all your GPUs and wait to buy the new 11 series? I am thinking of selling in 1 to 2 months time span and wait to buy the new, or buy crypto at this dip. Yeah, I think that could be a good strategy, mate. I really do think it could be. I did a video about this a few months ago, and at the time I was very strongly considering selling. Now, in hindsight, that would have been a wrong move, because the price of my GPUs haven't went down too much, and I've had another few months mining. But we're going to see new cards come out in a few months. what that means is the prices of used 10 series cars, in theory, should go down. But that will depend on, you know, the market staying the same. If we enter a bull run, then there's going to be a GPU shortage again, no doubt. And then the prices of all cars, used and new, will go up. So I think that is a legitimate strategy, though. I do think that's a legitimate strategy, especially with the prices of so many good coins right now being very low. So there's a good argument for selling all your cards and either putting it to the side to buy your, you know, the 11 series cards, or perhaps waiting until like October and seeing the price of the cards that you used to have drop in price, or perhaps just selling all your GPUs, putting the funds into coins that you believe in, projects that you believe in, perhaps Masternodes in coins that you believe in. It's one of those things, because there's no right or wrong answer, I don't think, because until you have the power of hindsight a few months later, you don't know if you did the right thing or not. Cole was saying even the 40% 8 hash power drop is worth it, in my opinion, for econs. A 3.1 boost is amazing. Yeah, that's one thing I wasn't really talking there about, the power draw going down. So this one says that down to 60% with special tuning. So that one says 75% with official pools. This one says down to 60%. So you're saving about 30 to 40% power. And, you know, when electricity is one of the biggest costs, then it's quite significant. But there's so many things as well you need to weigh up, because, like for the Ethereum example, you know, this is going to be $329.99 for this one. So for this one, $330, you'll get a 10% boost, and you'll bring your power usage down by 40%. But BATME also sell 8 hash antminers, and there. So there is an argument that instead of buying one of those, or, you know, whatever, you could just buy something like this. This is the E3, and what's the hash rate on this again? I think this one is like 190. I think I need to see this somewhere. Ah, right on the button, 190. So this is 190, and it's 760 watts. But there's another one coming out from Silicon, which is like 500 watts or so. I've seen some news coming out that it's going to be another one. It's 1 or 2,000 mega hash. I don't know. I'd have to do the calculations with that to see what would be the best buy, as far as giving your existing GPUs a 10% boost and a 40% drop in power, or putting that money towards an antminer of some kind. You can fit 8 or more with the PCI Express Nest X4. Yeah, what the card you're talking about is that $140. Reduces CPU load, as well as advanced econ power utilization performance monitoring. I wish this had a little bit better explanation on this page. It's interesting though, even whether I buy one or not, I do kind of like what they're trying to do though. I do like the theory behind it all. How many of those do you need for a 6 Vega GPU rig? That's the thing. So if you go down, I think it's an FAQ, they explain this somewhere. Somewhere. So as far as how many you would need per rig, in the FAQ area, they've got 1 econ per 4 GPUs is good, 1 econ per 2 GPUs is best, and that's for mining 8 hash or kryptonite. And then for other ones, they've got 1 per 4, 1 per 2, 2 econs per GPU best. So it does seem to be on depend on the cards that you're using and the algorithm that you're using. So I don't know, you'd have to work that out. I think you don't like AMD cards. I do like AMD cards. I've got nothing against them. Absolutely nothing. It's just silicon. I've got no allegiance to Nvidia or AMD. The reason I didn't buy AMD cards for any of my rigs is because there was none available when I bought all my GPUs. Like, literally none. There was none being sold, and there was none being sold new. And in the used market, people were selling, you know, the cards that normally sell for £500 retail. They were selling it for £1,000. It just wasn't worth buying them at the time. You know, for me, at that period of time when I was buying, Nvidia made the most sense. The thing is, I really, you know, it's Aaron was saying here, ASIC mining is way easier and better for the environment. I think that the way that I see it, whether I'm mining with an FPGA or ASIC miner or AMD or Nvidia card, is kind of irrelevant. I'm going to go wherever the market is going and whatever the best return is. Now, obviously, there are questions to be asked about BATME's dominance and all that as well, though. Is it true that some of the BATME miners become worthless before the break-even point? Why is this? Yes, that's true, Toby. There's a lot of reasons, but mostly the reason is BATME selling a lot of machines, or any ASIC mining machine selling a lot of machines, and a lot of the time they sell them when they know that they're not going to be profitable, but some of them can be profitable. Like if we looked at, you know, here's an example. This one is profitable if your electricity is 0.07. Now, for me, equivalent in dollars, I'm paying that for electricity, and this isn't profitable. So there are ASIC miners that do make money, but that will depend. You know, an ASIC mining machine is more likely to make money for you if your electricity costs are low. That's the same for GPUs as well. The point where, you know, we're can't talk. Whether you hit this red area will depend on the cost of electricity in your area. You know, so it could, you know, someone here 15 cents like me, that could be $2 profit a day for someone else. So there's that, but you also have to take into account how many have been sold, so that affects the difficulty. You also have to take into account lots of coins fork when an ASIC mining machine arrives. So there's a lot of things to consider. But BATME are in the business of selling ASIC mining machines. So they will happily offload some of these ASIC mining machines even if they know the return isn't that good. Just be very careful, because you will see, you know, BATME tend to lower the prices. But be careful. If you look on eBay and Amazon, you'll see a lot of people selling ASIC mining machines that are no longer profitable. They'll actually lose you money. And people are still selling them on Amazon and eBay to people that, you know, don't know what to check. But now AMD cards are more cheaper than Nvidia. So if you want to buy a new card, then which card will you choose? It depends, because I don't think what you're saying is 100% true. It might be true where you are, but it might not be true in the UK. It might not be true in Finland or Asia or Australia. In different regions, you find that some cards and the availability of those cards, it really does vary. You know, in my region, 1060s were the most profitable cards, you know, for the prices they were selling at. But I've seen other people talking about AMD cards being more profitable, or 1070 Ti's or whatever. Hi, Flood of Sins. So if I was looking at cards and AMDs were cheaper and the return were cheaper, I would definitely build an AMD rig. I'm on Hive OS now for 3 rigs, and I can mix up AMD and Nvidia cards. Before I had to put all Nvidia cards together. But yeah, I've got absolutely no problem buying an AMD card. It really makes zero difference to me whatsoever, as long as it, you know, allows me to mine the coins that I want to mine. Aaron was saying he made money until the fall in January. That was also when the second batch came out. If you want to make money with BATME, you have to get in the first or second batches. Anything after that, too many people get on the same ship and suck all the rations. Yeah, and this is the thing, you know, as far, like, you know, taking the most recent example with the Equihash Z9s and Z9 minis, BATME know what coins are on Equihash 209. They know what coins are on there. They know which one's forked. They also know what the block reward is every single day. So they know how many coins are up for grabs every day and what the daily profits are. But they are the only ones that know how many units they've sold. So they can work out how many they've sold and then work out, you know, how much that daily profit will go down. If you look over here at the Antmine Z9, the Z9 Mini here at $14.12, granted that's based on 10,000, you can overclock it to 16,000, but even just a week or so ago that was at $20. And when the new batches come out at the end of the August, September, whenever the next batch is delivered, that's going to head down to like $4 or $5 per day. It will. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Because of the release of the Z9, because of more people buying the Z9 and the Z9 Mini, it's going to go down in price. Why don't you cheek Asus RX? Right? Just tell us the price. Like, we know what the 580 can do. Just tell us the price. You know, see, you told us the price actually. You said it was, what did you say it was? $225. It sounds like a good price. Are you considering hedging your 1080 Ti farm with Acorns to see if it revives your profitability? No, I don't think so. Like, my 1080 Ti is they're still performing well. What have I got just now? Like, from... Like, I'm currently mining, if I can get it here. I'm currently mining 1445, and I'm getting... If you can see there, I'm down at 160 watts, 165 watts or something like that. Temperatures aren't too bad just now. It's really warm in the UK. I'd like to get those down a little bit more, so I should really push the fans a little bit higher. But I'm getting about 60 hash. Now, before the recent updates of EWBF, I was getting about 50. On Ethereum as well, they're still performing well. Those cards are still performing well. Granted, I would see a boost. With the Acorn, but you're also paying $330 for it. So, to use Rabin's example there, instead of buying one of those Acorns, I could just buy a used AMD card or used Nvidia card for $300 and just add it to my rig. And then 6 months down the line, if I want, I can sell the card. I can sell it to a gamer. I can sell it to another miner. Whereas with an Acorn, you're kind of tied to using those algorithms that they offer, and you're also tied to using their software, which makes it a little bit difficult, because if you're using Awesome Miner or Hive OS or something, you need to use their script. Not difficult, but you know, you need to use, instead of using another algorithm, another script, you'd have to use theirs. And I don't know how optimized theirs is. Not crapping on it. I do think it's a good idea. I haven't given it any serious thought as to. I think I'm still leaning towards I'd buy a used GPU rather than buying an Acorn. Has any actual Acorn been reviewed or just posted stats? I don't think any have been reviewed as yet. They're being delivered at the end of the month. Aaron's saying that mining is fun as a hobby. It's hard to come out on top. We're not getting that rich, that's for sure. Well, it depends. You could just save your money and just buy the coins that you want. I've always looked at GPUs as a very good way to mine coins that aren't on exchanges yet and get into the project early, and try and get a good return for that. But that, you know, that strategy in itself is very risky as well. So I don't know. The only ones that make profit at the moment are electricity stealers and Chinese. It's very sad months. Europe, America has no chance with the electricity cost difference. They're not looking good. It's a very good point, Cryptoland. And I think that long term, because of the high cost of electricity, you know, I've been paying an insane amount of money for electricity, and it's something I really do need to take into consideration. And long term, I need to review this, because the electricity is significantly eating into my profits. So I need to think, okay, do I buy ASIC miners, or do I buy FPGAs, or do I invest into Masternodes and projects that I think are good, or do I just buy some coins that I think that are good? Very good point, Cryptoland. You know, this is something that we don't talk about enough, but when profits are down, you really start worrying about electricity. When I was in a bull run and I was making $75, $80 per day, or in fact it was more than that, it was like over $100 per day I was making at one point, you're not worrying too much about electricity because you can cover it with just 3 or 4 days of mining. But right now, I'd have to look at it, but it could be like something like 20 days of mining to cover the electricity costs. Aaron, oh sorry, Fred, RX 580 Nitro Plus 4GB, £205. MSI RX 580GB, £251 on Amazon UK. Another investment to look at is silver. 150. I don't know much about that market, but it looks like if it's down, you know, it's always going to go back up. Hi Push, good to see you. I'm really glad to see that Algo's working. I've heard they're working with other miners, though. It's probably just to add a package. Yeah, that'd be good to see. I'd like to see them do it. And I do think that the Econ miners do look good. And it's hard to judge them just now as well because they're still, you know, early in their journey. The A9 in silicon is 1445 forkable. Wow, that would make a big difference. Where did you see that, Colt? Where did you see that? Go to Amazon and show us some good deals on GPUs. Well, again, it comes down to what region you're in. What region are you in, Rabin? Because there's going to be bargains. A lot of people say that there's some good used bargains in the USA, but in Europe it's maybe a little bit harder. Hercules, that's not Ethereum. That's Equihash 145. That's why I'm getting a different hash rate from you. Okay, thanks, Colt. Yeah, that's something I'd have to explore because that would directly affect me, and obviously I help out with the SafeCoin project, so something they'd like to check in. It's definitely going to happen at one point, though. There's definitely going to be an ASIC mining machine that can do Equihash 1445. I have absolutely no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about that. Because at the moment, it is just, it's a cat and mouse game, and all 1445 did was really just increase the ramming, the memory requirement, the RAM requirement, to a point that the ASIC miner Z9 and Z9 Mini, you know, couldn't compete because they didn't have the RAM in there. But this in Silicon One has enough RAM. Well, it's a different story. Yeah, Fred's saying wait a month before buying anything. The new BATME ASICs will be released and we will know when the new 11 series GPUs will be released. Here's a question though. Do you think it is a good time to sell? What do you think, guys? Is it a good time to sell? Should we sell before the official announcement of these cards in 2 weeks' time? What do you think? Good time to sell? Good time to get out of the GPU mining game, maybe buy some ASICs, or just keep the rigs there until the 11 series come out. What do you think, guys? If anybody wants to jump on and chat to me in a video or audio, let me know. I'll try and get organised for that next week and try and bring in some people for interviews and chats and things like that. I've been poorly organised this week. Push sold last year, right? Douglas says it's a good time to sell all that junk in the background. What junk? What junk? All of that is necessary. People forget this is a workshop. This doesn't have to be tidy. It's a workshop. It's where I record videos. To be fair, the boxes are there simply because I could put them upstairs, but they're more likely to get caught with spiders and all these other things if I put them upstairs. But I'll definitely... I don't know. I need to think about GPUs because GPUs are going to be affected more over the next 6 months. Selling's a pain in the asshole. I've not seen that one before. Have you guys? That seems to be pretty new. ASIC miner Xeon 160K. Right, where are we? ASIC miner Xeon. Right, let's see what this is like. Daily revenue $177.50. That's saying more there. 2200 watts. 47 decibels, quite low. It's basically like a desktop PC. Most profitable miner in the world. So this is another Equihash miner. 160,000 sols, equivalent of 200 1080 Ti's. That's insane. I don't know if it tells you the break-even point with these things. Mineable coins, Z Classic, Hush, Zencash. Not yet available. That's a beast. That's an absolute beast. Absolute beast. So that's saying annually. Yeah, that's making a lot of assumptions. That's forgetting. That's the thing. I hate that they do this. They're trying to tell you what the annual returns are, despite the fact that we all know that these other Equihash miners are coming out. And that's based on 12 cents, which isn't true. What if the 11 series availability sucks for small time buyers like us? Then the 10 series price could go back up. That's a good point, Mark. It could. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends on the prices. It depends on the market. It depends on how the market goes. If we see Bitcoin going up, if we go into another kind of bull run and the market picks up, then all GPUs are going to be scarce. Hi, Scott. Yeah, when I did the live stream with Ethereum, as soon as I finished that stream, which was about 4 hours long, the rig that was kind of tinkering with, it crashed. It actually crashed. I had to dial it back. I think I was at plus 770 memory, and I had to dial it back to about 700 to make it stable. I don't know why it was stable when I was doing the live stream. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Mohammed. Yeah, I'm doing good. So, Push. Well, the thing is with that one, Push, the 127 days ROI, that's based on current prices. And as I was saying, you know, if you look at the Z9 Mini, I honestly think that's going to go down to about $5 per day in about 5-6 weeks. So you can expect this to go down in profits as well. So that, you know, this is the thing, and it's the same with GPUs. You base a lot of returns in GPUs based on current prices, but you know that the market could go down or go back up. How much to buy one? Yeah, it does seem new. It is $19,900. You can install on their farm. I think I'd prefer to get it myself. Built-in PSU. It's a beast though, absolute beast. 2200 watts power consumption. Yeah, this is Xeon. I'll put a link down there for you guys if you want to see it. Yeah, $20,000 is a big investment. Plus also from a hash rate point of view, you know, that is the same as 10 Z9 minis that have been overclocked. So, you know, if you buy 10 Z9 minis at $850, you've got $8,500. So for half the cost of that, you could get 10 Z9 minis that's got the exact same hash rate. That's assuming that can't be overclocked. The power draw from the other option would be more, but it still seems to be the BATME one seems to be the most efficient. We'll see what happens, Fred. It's hard to see. It's hard to see what's going to happen in the market. You know, if you look on the news, there's a lot of big companies making steps into cryptocurrency. So I don't know. We'll see. Mohammed, may I ask you something? You just did. Go ahead, mate. Just say the question. It's fine. 7 down. I'm going to hold on to my rigs. I just set up a grow tent to put them in. Exhaust fan and intake fan with ductwork. They were putting off so much heat. My AC bill was skyrocketing until I did this. Europe said one of the warmest summers on record. And as on those days it was really warm. You probably noticed that there was about a week or so where I was filming downstairs because it was so warm in here. Yesterday was one of those days. I think it was like 32 degrees during the daytime. And all the houses in the UK tend to be built for conserving heat rather than cooling them down like you would get abroad. It was too warm to even record in here. That's why I didn't do a video the other day. I was going to do it downstairs and I just took a day off. It was just way too warm. In the winter though, having some GPU rigs in the room is amazing because I don't have to heat the top level of my house. And like I said, you'll never break even with a machine like that. Better to buy 20,000 worth of the crypto and not pay for electricity. Well, the other alternative is to simply buy the Z9 Mini, because if you look at Z9 Mini, right? So here's the Z9 Mini, $850. $850. Now this gives you 10,000 souls officially, but most people say that you can overclock it and you can get to 16,000. So 16,000 is quite luckily 1/10 of that. So you buy 10 of these at $850, $8,500. Obviously you'd have to buy PSUs as well, so you stick another $100 on, then that's $9,500. You wouldn't need that many actually, but even at $9,000 you're talking half the cost of that for the same hash rate. But I'm making an assumption there that this can't be overclocked. If this can be overclocked to 200,000 or 250,000, maybe it changes the calculations. But on the surface, it seems like for half the cost, you could just buy multiple Z9 minis. Might not look as sexy as this, but you know, it's going to make you some money. How do you combine the hash rate to making them work as one device? Do you know what I mean? Thanks. Essentially, you just hook them up. I think what you're asking is, with multiple ASIC miners, effectively what you would do is just hook them up to a pool. So if you had, if you had connected a Z9 Mini to a pool, you would have, like Z9 Mini 1, Z9 Mini 2, Z9 Mini 3, and just name them all like that. And on your pool page, on your stats page, you will see a list of all the different GPUs and ASIC miners that are attached. You don't have to combine them together or anything like that. They just work separately, and then you just put in the same address. This is where you use something like Awesome Miner or Hive OS to manage it all. Could you live with the noise of 10 Z9s? No. I mean, I think if you're buying 10 Z9s though, chances are you'd be putting them outside, or you'd be putting them in a garage or something like that. Hi, Dominic. Yeah, as far as sound goes, it's saying 47 decibels for that Xeon, which is very low. These all of those ones from ASIC Miner, all of those ones seem to be very very quiet. They've obviously put a large focus on that. But if you look at BATME ones, they tend to be a little bit louder, 75 decibels. Some of the older ones were crazy loud, even higher than 75. Look at this, BATME Antminer S9, 85 decibels. If we can find it any higher than that, 85, is that a winner? Yeah, but it's kind of telling. If you look down at the the other ASIC miners, you can tell that after, let's look at $10 a day as a breakpoint. There's none there from 2017 that are making $10 a day. They're all, well, there's one from May, but that was an expensive machine. But they're all pretty much the second half of 2018. Well, sorry, that's a lie. These two are June. Those ones are June, that one's June. So, yeah, from like May, June onwards, all of the ASIC miners are making $10. But if you go further back than that and you start looking at, earlier in the year, then you're making less money. Your electricity bill's paid for, that's good. Jared's saying that they're water cooled. Yeah, it looks like in the picture you can see it looks like the machines are all water cooled. They're big beasts. Big beasts. The machines from these are noiseless. So they're saying the Z9 Mini, they're saying it's not that bad now. Right, so it's a little bit quieter. But it does bring up the question again, if you're worried about noise, if you don't have like a warehouse or a garage to store all these things, if you're worrying about heat, then maybe you should just be buying the coins when the market is down. Maybe you should just be buying the coins, or maybe you should be investing in Masternodes. What do you think, guys? In theory, Masternodes are a more efficient way to handle it all. In theory. Well, they are. They are more efficient. The electricity with multiple machines is what will kill you though, Kev. Well, yeah, for Z9 Minis, I think, were they not like 300 watts or something? What were they? Z9 Mini. Well, yeah. Right, so it looks like the Z9 Mini is about 250 watts, going by that, roughly. So 250 watts, I don't know if you can get it down with overclocking. 250 watts, for 10, you're talking 2,500 against their 2,200. Save a little bit, but I think, the saving that you make with the actual initial purchase greatly outweighs it. Are you sure that not scams, sir? Which one are you talking about, Mohammed? Hi, King. Yeah, you're definitely overpaying. I think if you look at the prices of those ASIC mining ones, these ones, from a hash rate point of view, you seem to be paying double, but you're getting a more refined system, I guess, a quieter system. But at the end of the day, in crypto, you're just trying to make the most money. So I don't know. What do you think, though, guys? Do you think, not being a GPU miner, not being an ASIC miner, not being an FPGA miner, do you think if you invested into legitimate masternodes, you would make as much? Or do you think the return just isn't as good? No, Mohammed, I mean, I don't know. I've not purchased from them, so I can't, I can't say with any conviction that they are legit or anything like that. I have seen many people review them before. I do think they are a legit operation, so I wouldn't I don't think there's any risk in it. I don't think so anyway. But yeah, you have to look into that and do your research. I don't agree with ASICs ruin everything. I think that's too simplistic. The market is evolving, and you need to adapt. My Z9 Mini earns $24 a day at the max overclocks as of today. When did you buy 7 down? Did you buy at the very beginning? Did you buy in May? Was it the first order? I think that's one of my regrets. I think initially the first batch turned out to be, or the one, who was the people that got two for the price of 1? Those people, I think that got in there early, I think that they got a really good return. Nick was saying that a stable masternode is a good investment. I think so, in theory as well. You know, there's always, this is like, for me, long term, I guess there's benefits from me as a YouTuber to have GPU mining rigs. But if I wasn't on YouTube, then GPU mining rigs do require maintenance. And I do realize that on Hive OS and, you know, different, if you've got it set up correctly, you shouldn't have too much downtime. Excuse me. But you do have to spend time investigating things. You need to manage your pools. You need to check everything's ticking over all right. So there is a good argument for just buying masternodes. King Tigerines, it's not about decentralization then, or the exchanges pump and dump altcoins. What do you mean by the exchange pump and dump altcoins? I don't see that, how that's tied to mining. I don't see how that's tied. I think they're different things. As far as decentralization goes, then yes, of course, we would like to see 15 different companies here, but I think the biggest shake-up to the ASIC mining market will be when Samsung or IBM or something like that comes into the market. BR enjoys mining. The market is evolving, yes, but you can still build very cheap Ethereum rigs. They're more efficient than the A10 ASIC from AK Miner. Necrobus bought 2 Z9s. Is that the Z9 Mini? Yeah, Fred, daily trading is something that I've not... that's time consuming as well. But if you're good at day trading, or at least, you know, look at the swings from a weekly basis, you can make a huge amount of money. Huge amount of money. And there's services like NiceHash and mining rig rentals that can still allow you to mine other algorithms that, you know, that perhaps aren't on an exchange yet. So there is a good argument for not mining. We need real decentralized crypto worlds. Yeah, but that, again, this is, you know, I think the biggest problem with decentralization right now is the fact that BATME are dominating the market. But if you just look at ASIC, if you forget about BATME and just look at ASIC mining machines on their own as a device, then they're more efficient than GPUs. But again, it's all relative, because if everyone was using them, the difficulty would spike even more. We'd have to buy more machines, so we're back to square one. Necrobit, right, so you'll get it at the end of August, start of September. If you could come over the electricity bill, then you can gain a pure benefit, right? What do you mean, Mohammed? Do you mean that as long as you're making more than your electricity? That's it. That's the thing, you know, because I like the fact that we've all got different opinions on this and we've got different strategies, because there's loads of ways that I could go, and there's lots of different ways that we could all go. Is, you know, you could sell your GPUs, you could buy coins, you could sell your GPUs, put them into masternodes, you could buy an expensive ASIC mining machine or an FPGA, you could buy a cheap ASIC mining machine, you could buy used 10 series GPUs or used AMD cards, you could keep your money for NVIDIA's 11 series cards. It really is hard to know what is the best thing to do. I do think it is hard, because there's so many unknown factors as far as what's going to happen in the market. Because if the market does go on a bull run, then it would be great to have GPUs. You know, if you could just mine and cash out. But at the same time, if you sold right now and then bought the right coins, the coins that are very low right now, if those coins show up in a bull market, then you could be getting 5-10 times your money back. but that kind of leads more to it's more of a risky strategy doing that. Junior said any investment in crypto needs to be put on hold if you're starting or wanting to expand. September will be MT Gilk's court ruling, which could flood the market with 137,000 Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I've not read much about that over the last few months. I've not heard any news on that. So that's next month. That's what I would have done, 7 down. I would have mined Zencash to try and get like a node and then a super node or something. That's quite lucky. Your electricity is free, Mohammed. What is the expected hash rate for 1180s? There's no evidence of any hash rates being, being demonstrated yet. But from a performance point of view, I believe it was about 15 to 20% of a performance boost over the 1080 Ti, not the 1080, the 1080 Ti, and I believe it's 180 watts instead of 250. So it's more efficient and it's got a 20% boost. But the 1180 Ti will be even more than that. So, until some miners get their hands on some cards and do some testing, we won't know. You can bet they will cost more than $1,000 each. I remember seeing the prices. I think it was like several $100s, like 600, 700, 800. Yeah, I need to play now. The other thing is a 20% boost in gaming or in video editing doesn't automatically transfer to a 20% boost in cryptocurrency mining. So, in theory, you would think that GDDR6 is more efficient. It can probably give better hash rates than GDDR5 or GDDRX5. Time will tell. We don't know until we do tests. It is going to be a better card than a 1080 Ti as far as efficiency and performance goes. It's the next generation, it's to be expected. But again, thinking about profits, the smart money might be on buying some of the used cards that are going to come into the market if they, become available. Why is that, Dominic? Do we have them already? Was that already mining? Already mined? Blacklight saying gamers will take the used cards, miners will get the new ones. I think hardcore gamers will go for the new series of cards, and I don't know what we found with the 1080 Ti's. If you go back a few generations, a lot of gamers were putting the cards into SLI. So in the 9 series, I think a lot of people were buying, was it 960s and 980s and all that, 980 Ti's, and they were putting them in SLI. But the boost for putting 1080 Ti's in SLI is not as significant as you would think. I used to run my cards in SLI when I was doing game streams, and sorry, I was chatting to somebody who was maybe getting on a stream, but they're going to come on maybe tomorrow or the next days. GPU miner, stay tuned for that. Yeah, I had my cards on it in SLI, and I think you were getting like a 20 or 30% boost over just having one. It wasn't like a 2 times boost or anything like that. But it could be different. Again, we could see something different with this 11 series. Maybe it is good in SLI. I remember doing some tests with SLI from a mining point of view, and a lot of people say the SLI is terrible for mining, but I didn't think there was as much in it as people were saying, because you could keep your both cards on using SLI, put them work, make them one. Effectively, it makes the GPUs work as one unit. And a lot of people were saying that, you shouldn't do that for mining, but I compared a few algorithms and it worked out about the same. But just from I think I'd like to get at least one 1180. I think at least one. Someone was saying today, I left a comment, I forget who it was actually, but they said they were going to put 1180 into the main PC and take their 1080 Ti and put it into the rigs. And that's a good idea. I think that's what I might do. I might put an 1180 onto my main PC, and I'll put my my older 1080 Ti into my 1080 Ti rig. That'd be a good thing for me to do. Engen 24 1060s and 6 1080 Ti cost 7,000 revenue per day in Ethereum, £20. 26 year return, 388 days. Engen, but that's based on just now. That's based on just now. When I first got those rigs, I was making over $100 per day, or just under that, depending on where you caught me in December, January. So, the daily profits of my cards were like at least four times higher back then. So if I'd cashed out at the time, which I didn't, but if I'd cashed out, my ROI date would have been very short. In fact, I probably would have broke even by now if I just kept mining and cashing out. Hopefully the Acorn will boost 1070, 1080 as well as 1080 Ti's. Yeah, it does. It says so on the website. You can see in the website that it does 1080s, 1070s, 1070 Ti's. Here in New Zealand, the 1080 Ti still retails new for at least $900. New Zealand is so expensive for electronics. When I lived in New Zealand, it always annoyed me how expensive things were, because I remember I imported a few things when I lived in New Zealand. I imported a few things from America because it worked out so much cheaper. I imported a Zune, and it still worked out, import tax and all that, still worked out like, I think it was still like a couple of $100 cheaper than buying in New Zealand. I tried it with a few algorithms 7 down as far as the SLI goes. The reason is, when you change from SLI back to just individually, sometimes things can go a little bit screwy. From a streaming point of view, having both cards in SLI is brilliant. It's more efficient. It handles everything much better. But what I did after that was I took them out of SLI and I had one card mining and the other one was streaming. You can pre-order the Acorns, Rabin. Colt saying Masternodes will be too easy, so profits per investment will be small. Should we buy one for each rig then? As far as the Acorns go, you could buy one or even two per rig, but it depends on your motherboard. Make sure you check your motherboard to see how many M2 slots you've got and whether you can expand it using adding an adapter. New Zealand is expensive. The land of the bottomless pocket. Whereabouts in New Zealand are you? Where's everyone from today? When I think about it, where's everyone from? We've got Europe in the house, North America in the house. We've got Australasia in the house. Whereabouts in Ireland, John? USA in the house, Ireland in the house, Auckland in the house. I used to stay across from the Sky Tower in Auckland. Well, for like 3 or 4 months. And then we travelled all the way around the islands. Beautiful country. I went to Queenstown when it was in May. I think it was May, so it was quite warm. I think everyone else, obviously it's a winter resort, everyone goes there in winter. When I was there, it was dead. All the pubs were quiet, you know, all the nightclub was quiet. There was still people there, but it was very quiet. Tralee. I don't think I've heard of Tralee. Was that West Coast or? Ah, right, okay. No, I've never been down that far. I've been to Galway, but I've not been down that far. Nice. Oh, I'd love to go over there. I've been to Galway and Donegal and Dublin and all that. It's always interesting. I always find it interesting when people are watching the live stream and everyone's from from across the world. Kerry, Southwest. Alright, cool. My brother's over in Belfast, so I go over there a lot, but, well, like once a year or so. Right, guys, I'm going to call it quits at that because I'm going to meet my friend just now. Thanks for watching. This is something I'd like to talk about again. I was just talking to Florian. If you're watching, thanks for, I'm looking forward to speaking to you. I was talking to Florian there. He's got a really big, huge GPU mining rig, so I'd love to do a live stream with him very soon, or get him on in a live stream, or just do a video and pick his brain about that. I'd like to do that more. I'd like to speak to people directly. If any of you guys want to share your rigs with me, if you just want to send me some pictures or something, it'd be great to do a video and have people show me their rigs and things like that. That's something I'd like to do very soon, and just because everyone's doing doing this differently. They're doing AMD cards on NVIDIA cards, or doing ASIC mining machines. It'd be very good to see people's rigs, their setups, how they've fixed different problems that they've faced. So that'd be good. So yeah, hope you all have a fantastic weekend, guys. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow or Sunday as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for leaving comments. And yeah, have a great weekend. I think I'm going to see Mission Impossible at one point, so that's my fun weekend decided. So hope you have a good one, guys, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers, guys.